Yo, what is going on, everybody? My name is TreyBwwe. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we have another tutorial video, and this one was requested by Elite Player over on Instagram and YouTube, mainly on YouTube. He's a great guy. I've been talking to him a while. I mean, I even did a trade video with him. But yeah, definitely go and check him out. Shout out to him for requesting this. But some of you may or may not know, if you do follow my Instagram, I did a repaint on a 12-inch Finn Balor figure. And then in the comments, Elite Player asked me to go ahead and do another repaint, or maybe do a tutorial video on this, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing here today. Today, we have this 12-inch Seth Rollins. I can't really get it in the shot because, you know, it's 12 inches. And yeah, there you go. That's better, I guess. But anyway, these figures don't look too good because obviously just like the heads are just terrible. Obviously, it doesn't really look like them at all. The eyes are just black dots. And it really needs some touching up to do. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you guys everything you need, all the paints and supplies I'm going to be using, and then we can get right into this. So the paints I will be using is Cadian Flesh Tone Citadel. You can order this stuff off of Amazon or at your local craft store might have them. Kislev Flesh, White Scar, Abandoned Black, and some Burnt Umber Apple Barrel brown paint. If you do not have these, you can probably use all Apple Barrel. Just make sure you're getting something similar to the paints I just showed you. Then you'll be needing some brushes and a toothpick. So let's get our figure in here. The first thing you're going to need is going to be Cadian Flesh Tone and a decently sized brush if you are doing a bigger head. If you're doing a smaller head, then obviously just a smaller brush. Make sure you have that open all the way pretty much. And then if you want to, you can water it down. It'll make it a lot better. But you're just going to go ahead and get a little bit of a droop. I'm going to wipe it on my napkin I have behind the camera. And then you're just simply, get this close for you guys. You're just going to go ahead and gently paint. Try to spread it out, thin it out. It does not matter if you really go over the eyebrows. Try your best not to go over the eyebrows. It'll help you out in the long run. But yeah, don't be afraid to go over the eyes and stuff like that. You're definitely going to want to watch out for the beard, like the beard too. Just make sure you can still see a little bit at the end, but don't be afraid to be super, or not that clean with this part. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to give you like a tripod view. I'm going to give you a little example of what the whole table should look like. Don't pay too much attention to the extra stuff over here. Just these paints is what you're going to need, and I just dropped some of those brushes. All this stuff here is what you are going to be needing. I also have this to be thinning out my paints. And yeah, here you can tell that I have pretty much thinned out most of the Seth Rollins face. I'm going to just touch it up just a little bit more, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like when you're done. Okay, so we have it pretty much all painted on there. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Please thin out your paints. Do not apply too much paint or else it won't look good. We're going to be going over this with another layer now of Kislev Flesh. So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of lay this here to demonstrate to you guys. I'm going to try to take the same brush here. So what you're going to do is this is what I mean by thinning your paints. This is, there's multiple different ways to thin them. But you're going to go ahead and just get some paint on the brush like that. And you're simply going to just wipe it off onto the paper towel or napkin, whatever you're using. You can use towels. It really doesn't matter. And then when you have it pretty much wiped off, you're going to go ahead, again, go on a thin layer on it, just like this. As you can see, it's going on very thin. It's going to take longer to do it, but that's good. You don't want to have one big glob. You want it to be just like, you want the redness of the skin to shine through a little bit more. So you're just going to try your best to just don't apply too much paint to it or else it won't look good. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more of this, and then you'll see what I mean when I have the rest kind of on there and give you guys a demonstration. Okay, so here you have what I was talking about. It gives just a little bit more of like a real looking vibe to the face. But now what we're going to do again is go over it one more time. Just a very thin layer of Cadian Flesh Tone. One more time, we're going to be using this brush right here. And yeah, you're just going to go ahead, get a little bit on there. I'm going to try to move these out of the way a little bit for you guys. And just kind of brush it on there, just like that. Get as much as you possibly can out of there. You do not want any type of, you don't want to have too much on the brush itself. And you're just going to kind of brush onto like the cheek parts here. There might be, I may have taken a little bit too much off there. But you know, it gives that more of a real vibe. And it just makes it look like he's been working out a lot. And it just gives it more of a real look. And just, yeah, lightly brush it on here. You can't really see it, but let me tell you, it's definitely making a difference right now. One thing I really encourage you guys to do is get kind of under there a little bit, like a little under the eye, where the baggy part is, and just kind of brush it on there too, because again, it's like just trying to go with human features to make it look as realistic as possible. You can get a smaller brush and go in with this later after we do the eyes, but that's kind of how we're gonna rule right now. Just gently brushing it, making it look as realistic as possible. Okay, so we have painted it up pretty well. I'll go ahead and set it down here for you guys again. But now time for perhaps the most scariest part when it comes to painting action figures, and that is the eyes. The things I'm going to be using is just the smallest, finest brushes you guys have. So I recommend, yeah, grabbing the most smallest brushes you have, any really fine point. And this is where we're going to be bringing in the toothpick for any of you guys that were wondering why I said that earlier. But anyway, guys, patience is key when it comes to this. We're going to be starting off with the white scar. So it's going to be hard for me to record here, guys. But I'm going to try as best as possible. So you're just going to go ahead, if you can kind of see this in the back here, get a little dip. You don't want too much. I might brush a little bit of this off. You don't want too much on there. That's about good if you can see that. Okay, so there's one eye pretty much done. There's a little more to be added to in the corner there, but we're going to already start on this other one here. After you've done the whites in the eyes, it's now time to get on to the color of the eye. So for my eye, it's going to be brown, because that's what Seth Rollins has. Make sure you look up an image. Here's the brush I'm going to be using, a very fine point brush, very small and sharp at the top, just so you could get the detail in there and you're not going overboard with any extra like paint going over the eyelids and stuff like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a dot on there. It's going to take a while to do all this, but eventually when you have all it placed down, it will look good. So now it's time to move on to the pupil of the eye, and that's what we'll be using this toothpick for. Get a very tiny drop of black, and then just kind of try to just, you know, add a little drop in there. It's kind of hard to explain it, but yeah, just press it down very lightly, just once, and the pupil will go in. So when you have done both of that, it's now time to add some white. We're going to be using the toothpick. I recommend using like the sharper side of it or the smaller side. The white just adds a little bit of more realistic look and a little shine to the eyes, so it makes it look more realistic. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding some Cadian Flesh Tone under the eye to make more of a baggy look, and also to just clean up some of the white marks and the extra marks that I messed up on, and it just makes it look a lot better and cleaner, and that's what the goal you're going to be aiming for here. So now it's time we're going to be doing the eyebrows. I'm just going to be using a black because that's kind of what his is. He is more of a really dark brown, but you know, this is the closest we have to it, and it'll just work really well. You're going to want to use a thin brush as well, just so you can get done there. I even have this in fast forward. That's how slow you can tell I'm going here, because it's still slow even if it's in fast forward. But you're really going to want to take your time on this. Kind of follow the marks or like the mold where it was before. And when you have got that one done, you can finish the second one. And that's what it will look like when you have done both of the eyebrows. The rest of the hair, like the beard and the actual hairpiece, is pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to go ahead and paint. Be careful when you're doing it as well, and you should be good to go. Okay, so there you guys have it on how I do my head repaints and how you guys can do it as well. I went ahead and touched up just some little things at the end. As you can see, I finished the beard, and I went ahead and painted the yellow on the side black to kind of make it an updated Seth Rollins, and I think it turned out pretty well. If you guys want me to teach you how to do a Mattel size 6-inch, 7-inch figure, please leave a like on this video and comment down below. Also comment some more video ideas you would like me to do. Again, thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.